Hello and welcome to today's Lewis Round F1 update. It's the 25th of January and this is the latest news in Formula 1. So we'll start off then with Caterham F1. They're the first team to unveil a picture of their 2012 car. The picture, just two pictures unveiled on F1 Racing magazine today, and also surprisingly on their Twitter account as well. Now, many people weren't predicting that until the next day, or on Thursday. So Caterham, the first team, surprisingly, not really much to see though. You can't really, it's not a detail, it's a very much a photoshopped version of the 2012 Caterham car. But yeah, so far that's the latest news from today, is that Caterham F1 car has come through, all good. Pirelli have introduced their Cinturato wet tyre for 2012, as well as the new modified drier tyres, saying they're softer, grippier and squarer. This is all to come into the play because of the blown diffuser being banned. Also other minor changes to the rules, but really the main difference, of course, the blown diffuser going. They want the dry tyres to then compensate for that loss of downforce, even though they'll probably find just as much downforce as they had last year in new areas of the car. But squarer tyre, that will work in the hands of giving it more tyre space, more tyre surface on the tarmac. A bit of a struggle there with camber, I would have thought though, because it's not a round tyre, as much of a round tyre as it was last year. They might struggle a bit more on the sidewall, put a bit more pressure on the sidewall. They're saying the compounds between, well, the times between both compounds are more competitive, aka there's less of a difference between each compound. So the super soft won't be as big of a gap as it was last year, so for the medium and the hard tyre. So this, they say, opens opportunities in race strategy, tyre strategy. They're saying it should make it more creative racing than it was last year. Even though last year was very interesting, you knew which tyre you had to be on if you wanted to be competitive, and that was the softer compound tyre off that race weekend. With the fact it's not as bad, and also the tyres they've said will wear out quicker, this will make it interesting. So I'll say, so far, thumbs up to Pirelli. They've done a splendid job in filling in the space of Bridgestone. They made the racing more exciting last year, and I think they've made changes which should spice things up yet again in 2012. So Lewis Hamilton has stated that he cannot make the court dates of the 30th and 31st of Adrian Sutil. Of course, he's been charged with grievous bodily harm, the German driver, and Hamilton has been called to appear in court as a witness to say what things happened, but he said he's with McLaren on the 30th and 31st, of course, so he can't make it on those dates, so it'd be most probably a change in the trial dates. But Hamilton's lawyer said McLaren, he's with McLaren, he can't do it. Of course, the car is launched 2 days after the 30th of January. It couldn't really be possible for him to make that trial day. It is no surprise, but it has come through today, so you're all informed. Sutil most likely will have to wait a bit longer before he learns his fate. And finally, Kimi Raikkonen has been driving the 2010 Lotus R30, which was formerly, of course, the Renault teams, in which Robert Kubica starred in, if you remember, in that yellow R30 2010 season. It was such a great season for them. They're looking onwards and upwards, but yeah, Raikkonen's been driving at the Ricardo Tordo circuit in Valencia, where many teams have pre-season tests beforehand, and not this year, which is the first time in a long time that no F1 cars are tested at the circuit. But Raikkonen has had 2 days in which he's completed 171 laps, which is very respectable. No problems with reliabilities, and he said himself, getting used to where to brake and to turn is very easy. It's getting used to the tyres, the race strategy itself. He's never driven a car with big fuel load on. Of course, the 2010 car was the first year where you'd fill up, so you'd learn a bit with the fuel strategy, but not really a lot. I wouldn't have thought he would have been driving with much fuel, full tank, as you will. I think they would have been focusing more on just getting him used to the car first and back into the seat, rather than doing that sort of thing to get confused. That he'll probably start doing in pre-season testing. But so far it looks good. I saw a few pictures and videos of him driving around. Doesn't look shape at all, looks right back into it. Of course, like Schumacher, it's very easy to get back into that shape of driving, but it's all about the race strategy itself. Can he look after the tyres? Can he get the best out of those Pirelli tyres? Which will be hard because it's completely different to the Bridgestones that he was used to. Also a different handling car now of DRS and KERS. He'd be used to the KERS, but different handling car. Of course, since he's missed 2 years of Formula 1, it'd probably be a completely different animal when he drives that. But at least he's got the experience of using a Formula 1 car again. I'm glad he's back, because there's always been the great races in the last decade have involved him. The Brazilian Grand Prix in 2003, the fantastic Japanese Grand Prix in 2005, the climax to the Brazil 2007 season, in which he pretty much robbed McLaren the World Championship. So, he's always a driver who makes great moments, great overtaking, but nicknamed the Iceman. But I'm glad he's back, another strength to the backbone of Formula 1. Well, that's it for today's F1 update. Keep checking the website www.lewisround.co.uk/WordPress. Facebook, like our Lewis Round F1 and Lewis Round F1. Twitter as well. Follow, like, and please comment, rate, subscribe to this show. I'll be back on next Wednesday, and I'll see you then.